LDR TV of education, information, and entertainment starts now.
While carrying vegetables to the market for sale in Ghana City, Nimba County. An eyewitness told the Daily Observer that the woman, identified as Nondolo of Zayapa Town, near Ghana, was on her way to the market when she came into contact with a high-tension power line that had fallen overnight following heavy rainfall. According to the eyewitness, the victim mistakenly believed the fallen wire was an ordinary cable and attempted to remove it from her path. However, upon touching the line with her bare hands, she received an electric shock and died instantly. The incident has shocked residents of Ghana City and surrounding communities, while renewing concerns among some citizens over the management of the Nimba grid by Jungle Energy Power, JEP, a private company contracted by the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LEC, to manage the grid. The exact cause of the fallen power line remains unclear. When contacted by the Daily Observer, JEP Communication Officer Zawolo Bamikpa said the company had responded to the situation and was working with the victim's family, the police, and local authorities to arrange her funeral. Ghana City Mayor Samuel S. Hart also confirmed the incident, stating that the woman died after coming into contact with a high-tension line that fell following lightning strikes around midnight on Thursday, July 9, 2026. Mayor Hart identified the victim as Nondolo of Zayapa Town, located behind Dor Cooper Avenue in Ghana. "We just met with the family of the lady, and we agreed that the body will be buried on July 18, 2026, Mayor Hart said. The incident has also renewed broader concerns about power infrastructure safety in parts of Ghana. Some community members have accused JEP of failing to adequately maintain sections of the electricity network, citing instances where damaged or exposed wires have reportedly remained unattended. During the interment ceremony of former Nimba County Superintendent Nelson Kirkwoy in Zayapa on July 4, 2026, community members reportedly raised concerns after observing an electricity line lying on the ground along an alley being used by sympathizers. Although the line reportedly involved in that incident was not the same one that killed Dolo, residents said the situation reflects ongoing concerns about the condition and maintenance of parts of the JEP-managed power network. "We had repeatedly warned JEP officials and community leaders about the poor condition of the wires for months, but our warnings yielded no positive results until today," some residents were quoted as saying on social media. "We pointed out to our leaders that the condition of the wires could lead to loss of life if not properly addressed," they added. Residents have also raised concerns about the use of makeshift poles in several communities, arguing that the practice poses safety risks. They question why JEP continues to collect electricity payments from customers while, according to them, failing to provide adequate infrastructure materials to support safe power distribution. JEP, which is expected to mark its 10th year of operation this year, became the first private entity to manage a power distribution grid in Liberia after entering into an agreement with the Liberia Electricity Corporation to oversee the Nimba grid. However, residents argue that many areas with improved electricity infrastructure were developed through external support programs before being transferred to JEP for management. These include projects supported by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, in Bong County and the Côte d'Ivoire Liberia Sierra Leone Guinea, CLSG, Electricity Interconnection Project, which provided infrastructure in communities around Ganda, Sanakweli, and Saklopi. The Nimba grid development traces back to 2010, when the West Africa Power Pool, through a Ghanaian firm known as Energy Venture, began efforts to extend electricity transmission lines from Côte d'Ivoire to Liberia's border counties, including Nimba, Grand Gade, and Maryland. In 2016, Jungle Water, owned by Flyold Toma, and Energy Venture partnered to establish Jungle Energy Power, leading to an agreement with the Liberia Electricity Corporation to manage electricity distribution in Nimba County.
What a sad news. This is an incident within Liberia. There, news from Ganta. Uh, Situation occurred uh, from the same rain disaster that we are having within the country there now. Uh, this sad incident of this poor lady dying, unfortunately being electrocuted by this high tension wire. You know, Liberia is so much behind and so many things going on. While we are talking about situations, of $19.2 million of cocaine drugs, we are here having a high tension wire, actually being pulled down there within Liberia from the rain or the rains, the flood and thing that is going on as and not just that, looking at how poorly the city is kept. I was going through with MCC and other reports within Liberia there, with even all of the constructions and thing going on. The residents are, you know, blocking the drainage or the drainages, within Liberia there. As much as MCC, they are trying hard to keep those drainage and thing clean and clear for water passages and thing there. Find out that still residents pulling dikes into those drainage that we have within the country there. Now look at one of the situation, because the water, the pool of water that is coming down, or the flooding thing. I mean, they are not finding a way out. They are not having a passage out in order for them to flow, for for you guys not to have problems and thing. But with you guys, blocking the drainages and thing, and there isn't any way or passage, for the water to flow. These are some of the situations that is actually going on within the country there. Now, this poor lady here, she's she's practically, ignorantly thought that this was just an ordinary wire, not knowing that this is a lifeline wire, thinking that this is an ordinary wire that has no current, no voltage in it, trying to pick it up with her bare hands. And look at what just happened to her. It is so sad. I mean, honestly, it is sad to see that, a loss of life foolishly that we have, in Liberia. There's something that shouldn't have happened, but due to the fact that the way that we are taking care of the country, our very self. See, these are some of the situations and things that we are going through within the country there, and this should be a lesson learned. That Liberians, we need to take care of our place. We need to, it's not right. What is happening? We need to definitely take care of, the country. No. Uh, we still involved with this the drug issue, within the country there. We are looking are definitely, the drug situation within the country. That hasn't been taken from the table. Mm. Mm.
One wife, we are very happy and thank you for coming. For this our first time getting married. We are very happy. And my wife and I, we are very, very happy. God is love.
One of the country's largest cocaine investigations entered a critical new phase Wednesday as senior members of the Senate demanded immediate arrests and prosecutions, while joint security officials disclosed that investigators have progressed from identifying persons of interest to preparing criminal charges against potential suspects.
Sponsor message, then we're back.
When the heat rises outside, your home's air conditioning shouldn't let you down. The Lee Company team is here to help keep you cool and your system running at its best with award-winning AC services. Whether you need a quick repair, seasonal maintenance, or want to upgrade to a new unit, Lee Company gets the job done right. Available 24/7, schedule your visit today online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need.
There's a moment when performance becomes unstoppable. Because once you've found your drive, ordinary just isn't enough. The versatile BMW X3 turned.
The tense hearing before the Liberian Senate came nearly 3 weeks after authorities. Intercepted approximately 237.6 kilograms of cocaine, valued at an estimated $19.2 million at the GLS Menzies cargo terminal at Roberts International Airport, RIA, a seizure that has since evolved into one of the country's most far-reaching criminal investigations in recent memory. What initially appeared to be a routine narcotics interdiction has expanded into an investigation stretching across airport security, cargo handling, freight forwarding, shipping documentation, financial records, electronic communications, and alleged international trafficking networks. The Ministry of Justice has previously stated that investigators are examining not only the June 8th seizure itself but also whether previous shipments connected to the same actors formed part of a broader transnational criminal enterprise operating through Liberia. That broader objective formed the backdrop to Wednesday's Senate hearing. Montserrado County Senator Abraham Darius Dillon questioned why arrests had not yet been made, arguing that investigators already possess sufficient evidence to begin prosecutions. You have the drugs, you have the person who kept them, you have the location where they were kept, and the warehouse, so why have you not arrested them? Dillon asked joint security officials. He argued that investigators should proceed against individuals already linked to the shipment even as efforts continue to identify those who allegedly introduced the cocaine into the cargo chain. So if you cannot find those who gave the drugs to GLS, then the drugs are for them. Arrest them, take them to court and prosecute them, Dillon declared. The comments reflected growing frustration among lawmakers over what some perceive as the slow pace of the investigation. Nimba County Senator Samuel Kogar went further, calling on President Joseph Numa Boakai to suspend senior officials of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Liberia National Police, and other joint security institutions, arguing that such action would restore public confidence and expose those ultimately responsible for the shipment. Responding to the criticism, Liberia National Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman insisted that investigators had made significant progress and suggested that the case was approaching a decisive stage. At this point in time, the only thing I can say is that we've made significant progress. We are at the stage where we have moved people from being persons of interest to potential suspects who could be charged within a few days, Coleman told senators. He cautioned, however, that the investigation's complexity required careful forensic analysis, documentary review, and coordination with international partners. This investigation is complex. We have to analyze documentary evidence, forensic evidence, and everything connected to it. We do not have all the capacity ourselves, so we have to rely on other partners at different times while working around the clock to coordinate and put everything together, Coleman said. The Inspector General also rejected suggestions that investigators were withholding information. We can assure you that there's nothing we're hiding. The chips will fall where they may because this investigation concerns the future of this country, he said, while noting that some aspects of the inquiry remain confidential to protect ongoing operations. The government's latest position represents an evolution from its earlier public messaging. When Justice Minister and Attorney General Counselor N. Oswald Tway first briefed the nation on June 19, he emphasized that investigators were seeking not merely to prosecute individuals connected to the shipment but to identify and dismantle what he described as a broader criminal network that financed, coordinated, facilitated, and protected the operation. More recently, the Witness Protection Agency publicly encouraged witnesses and cooperating persons to come forward under the protection of Liberia's Witness Protection Act, signaling that investigators may now be placing greater emphasis on insider cooperation as they work to establish the full chain of criminal responsibility. Wednesday's hearing also underscored the continuing debate over where responsibility ultimately lies. While the cocaine was discovered at the GLS Menzies cargo terminal, investigators continue examining each stage of the shipment's movement, from freight forwarding and airport security screening to cargo handling, documentation, storage, and attempted export, to determine how the shipment progressed through multiple layers of the aviation system before it was intercepted. Authorities have repeatedly stressed that individuals identified as persons of interest remain entitled to the presumption of innocence and that no conclusions have been reached regarding their criminal liability. The hearing briefly grew heated when Inspector General Coleman challenged Senator Kogar to substantiate allegations that security officials were shielding suspects. After Senate leadership intervened, Coleman apologized to the senator before proceedings continued. The Senate also announced a separate inquiry into the reported release of Michael Brown, who is alleged to have previously served a prison sentence on drug-related charges and whose name has resurfaced during the current investigation. As lawmakers intensify pressure for arrests and joint security signals that criminal charges may soon be filed, the investigation appears to be entering what could become its most consequential phase. The central question is no longer simply who handled the shipment, but whether investigators can identify and prosecute the individuals who financed, organized, and directed what the government believes may have been a sophisticated transnational trafficking operation.